Everyone, Paul here. Today I'm going to be talking about a strategy which is a two indicator setup, but it's very powerful. I talked about it in the last video, but today we're going to be going over the stock market. And this strategy works well for the stock market because it can easily catch a lot of those up and down moments, and it's easy to find when it's starting to go up and when it's starting to pull back. So it can easily pick up on calls and puts, and it works on multiple different time frames. And for me, it works. What I look for really is doing it on the day for the best results. But if I don't find it on the day, I'll go down in time frames. If I want to make some profit for the day, I'll go to the hour. But I don't go anything lower than that. But this will work for any time frame. It just depends on when you want to do it, but it does work for all time frames. The smaller you go, the less money you're going to make. But the longer you go, the more you're going to make. So it all depends. But I'll show you how to set this up for the stock market. It when you look at on the charts, it looks it's very easy to find these signals. What you need to set up is we're going to go over the linear regression candles, and there's going to be another strategy. So I'll show you how to set it up. We'll look at a couple stocks, and we'll see how much money you can make by just following a couple steps. So I'm going to show you how to set it up. First, we're going to be looking at it on the day chart because this is how I trade. This is the first thing I look for. So first thing you want to do is you want to do the linear regression candles. You want to go over here. You want to look for linear regression, the top one here by U. You hit that one there. Basically, you just use this, and you just got to make sure you have your plot line there. And you can change the colors of candles if you want, but once you have this on here, you're gonna have to hide your regular candles. So that's the first indicator. And then the next one we're going to go to the OBV, the OBV MAC indicator. So when you first get it, it's going to look like this on the bottom. What I do is I change it up a bit. So I make the zero line a white and less thick. And now these are your bullish and bearish. So basically, I change the blue. I make it less thick. I change the blue to a green. Bring up the opacity, and I make it a bright red here for the bearish. Turn up the opacity, and make it less thick. So that will bring it to looking like it does here at the top. So the strategy is very simple. What you want to focus on really is you want to find moments where both of these are matching each other. So you want to find the line crossing either up or down on the zero line. So basically, every moment that it's crossing either up or down on the zero line, it also has to be crossing in that direction on the linear line. So we'll find it on the day here, and we'll definitely look at the moments of getting in. But we see on the day, we'll see it crossed up right here, and then we also see it cross. We also see it crossing up on the linear line. So this would have been a good trade. So if you came in right here, if you just wrote it out, this is why I like looking for it on the day. But you're not going to find this all the time. So if you came right here and you just wrote it out, let's just say you bought a contract for 2 weeks or something like that, you would have made about $2,000 in this trade just by doing this. And then what happens is it goes down, it retraces a bit, and you can actually see the retracement right here. Very simple, very easy to see. It went down, and from right here you could actually get in for a retracement, and you can actually scalp this one too. And you could actually know when it starts going back up again because it starts going back through the linear line. So you see right here, the retracement back down is another $547. And then from the MACD indicator, you can still see. Now, I try to look for it crossing the zero line because that is the best time. But, you know, as long as it's above the zero line, you're still in a good trade. So this is telling you that it is still bullish. So you would just wait for the candle to get above the linear line, and you can enter another trade. So you can get into right here, and you can ride this out for another 2 weeks or however long. But like from here to here, yeah, this is 2 weeks right here. You would have made 1,800 right there. So let's go back and the main move here is seeing what I look for is seeing it cross the zero line, because it has to cross the zero line. Once it crosses the zero line, you want to make sure that it's in that direction with the linear line. You know, if it's going up, you want to make sure your candles are above the zero. It's above the linear line. So right here we see another move. So you could have got in right here, and you could rode this out for 2 weeks. Right about here. If you want to ride it for 2 weeks, that's what usually with the contractual cost. But this is about another $2,000. This is about $2,000 with one contract. And I don't know if did we cover that one? Yeah, I think we covered that one. So let me show you how to do this for the opposite here for puts. It's exactly the same thing. You see the red, you see the line going down the zero line, so you would come in for a put at this point, and you would ride this out, let's see, 2 weeks or somewhere around there. So yeah, this is another $2,000 in 2 weeks. So now we are in let's go look for the uptrend. So from here, it's kind of crossing. Yeah, it's crossing. You have to zoom in, but it's crossing. So it crosses right here, and you see it crossing up on the linear line, and you can ride this out for... I do it until it starts touching the linear line, so this is good for me for a trade. Well, it's 2 weeks of a trade, but this is about another $2,000 move. So, and then you see what it goes up, but does it ever retrace? Yeah, we already covered that one there. Now, this is a small retracement. It's not going anywhere on the zero line, but we'll see. Now, I personally, if the line is above the zero line, I probably won't take it because this is going against the trend right here. So I probably wouldn't take that trade. So if the MACD indicator, if the lines are above it, then it's bullish. If it's below it, it's bearish. So I wouldn't personally take that trade because it's bullish at that point. So if you want to get in here, the first thing I look for is the linear line and crossing the zero line. But if you want to get in a trade, you just make sure the candles are above the linear line. And you can ride this out till it touches. And this is another, well, this is 1600 right here. So real quickly, we're going to look at a couple other times. So the first thing I do is I look and make sure it is crossing the zero line. That is my first move. So I look for this on the day, which it's not going to happen all the time. So if I don't find it on the day, I will go to a lower time frame. So you see it crossing right here, and you also see it going above the linear line. And you ride it out for, let's just do 2 weeks. This is actually a $3,347 move in 2 weeks. And right here you see it crossing down on the zero line. Right here you see it coming down on the zero line, so you would come in for a put right here and you would ride this out. And this is another $2,000. So doing it on the day here, you can actually make about $2,000 like in every 2 weeks or so, following it on the day. But you can do this on a shorter time frame. I'll show you how to do this real quickly on the hour. So if you want to do this more on the hour, you won't make as much. You'll make more per day, but you're not gonna Yeah, you won't make the $2,000 ones if you know. But if you do it on the hour, you don't necessarily have to buy your contracts out for 2 weeks. But I do it just to be safe. But let me show you how to do this on the hour. It's more of an intraday. You may find these like once or twice a week. But anyway, it's the same thing. So we see that it is crossing the zero line right here. We also see the line is above the linear line. So you would come in right about here. We ride this out till it touches. This is 2 days and about $336. So personally, I wouldn't take this. Well, I can't take this move because if you look at it with just the linear line, but this is going against the trend right here. But you do see that the lines are below the MACD there. So you could have got that one and you would have made $114. So here's another move where it's crossing down. Right here, you see it crossing down right about here. So this would be another move. Ride this down. And this would have resulted in $376 in 6 hours. So you'll get more of those small little $300, $400 like 2-3 times a week by doing it on the hour. And I'll do a couple more on the hour, but then we'll look at an even smaller time frame if you guys want to go to a smaller time frame. But I personally do look for it on the day first, and then I'll go look at the hour. And if I don't find it, I don't like really doing it on, but I'll look it on that for you. Now you see right here, the MACD is above the line. There's no crossing, but we see the candles are above the linear line. You could have got on that one right there, and that's $820 in 4 hours. Little consolidation right there, and it's consolidating because you see the MACD there, we're getting kind of flat. So that's how you know it's consolidating, when it starts going flat. And then we got right here, we got it crossing up on the zero line right here. We also see it with the crossing above the zero line. So we come in right about here to here, scalp this for a day, and you made $532. So real quickly, let me look at this on a 15-minute. This is more of an intraday, so you might be able to catch this. You might be able to catch this on a daily, but you probably won't make as much as the other 2 time frames. But let's just see. So we see it crossing below. We see it crossing on the zero line right about here. So you can come in here for a quick hour. Do a quick hour and make $265. You see it crossing up on the zero line right about here. You see that happening with the linear line. And it crosses right here. And you made about $407 in an hour and 15 minutes. Now, what I don't like about doing it on the smaller time frames is you're gonna find you'll get in a trade, and it's either gonna be a big one or a small one, and sometimes you'll get stuck with a small one. That's why I don't like doing small time frames, because you just find you might be set on making a lot of money for a day, and then you something like this, which is tiny. This isn't much here. This is kind of why I like doing bigger time frames. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But let's look real quickly at this one right here. We see it crossing the zero line. So we get in right about here and write it out for an hour and 15 minutes. You would have made $200. We see it crossing down on the zero line right about here. Right here. We come in for a quick scalp. That's $100. Somewhere around $100. Not even worth it. So this is kind of why I don't like doing it on the 15 or smaller time frame. I personally like doing it on the day. Now, if you could do this 2 different ways. You could do this on Robinhood, and you have to buy the contracts for that. But You can also trade this on Forex, and you don't have to worry about expiration. You can hold your positions for a lot longer, as long as you see it in the charts. But for everybody that's doing it on Robinhood, there are expirations, so majority of people are doing it on Robinhood. But anyway, I prefer doing it on the day, but it's not always. When you do it on the day, it's not going to happen every day, so then you have to go to smaller time frames. But if I go to smaller time frames, I'll go to the 6 hour, 4 hour, and the smallest one I'll probably go to is probably the hour. But I don't like going anything smaller than that. It might be different for other people, but this strategy will work on whatever time frame you want. I just like doing it on the longest time frame that I can. Real quickly, before I go, I want to show you weekly. Now, you're not going to find this on, you're not going to find the crosses a lot here, but if you do, you're going to end up making a lot. You can, if you want, and you buy your contract. If you find it crossing on a weekly, you can actually buy your contracts for much longer. But this is only if it's crossing on the weekly, so it doesn't happen a lot. But you see it happen right here. You see it crossing on the zero line, and you could have rode this. You could have rode this thing out for a long time, but you would have to buy your contracts would have to, last 133 days. But that move right there would have given you about $8,000. Imagine that. And then we see it actually still bullish. It is still bullish, and it is above the linear line. So this is another good moment right here. So this is 21 days. You made $3,000. So we see that it's crossing down the zero line right about here. If you rode this out for weeks, 35 days, you would have to have at least a month contract here. You'd make $2,551 there. Not crossing the zero line, but we'll look at this anyway. It's crossing right about here. So get in right about here and ride it out for weeks. 3 months actually. So if you bought a contract for 3 months, you would have made about $5,000, which $5,000 in 3 months, not bad at all. So a couple more times here. It's crossing the zero line right about here, so you get in, ride it out for a couple weeks. 35 days, you would have made about $2,000. So I really find it, it would be kind of hard doing this on. It would be kind of hard doing this on the weekly. That's why I kind of go to the day. The day is like the comfortable number, because if you find it on the day, you can actually end up making a lot. But anyway, it works for whatever time frame you want. So anyway, this strategy is really effective, in my opinion. I kind of stumbled on it in the last couple of days. I haven't really put it into action yet. I will start doing this strategy, especially for the stock market and doing options. I will be doing it in the next week. Now, on my Discord, I will be showing you how effective this is if you guys haven't been joining my Discord. On my Discord, I go over certain charts and patterns that I see, and I post, through my own charting and what I've learned on whether things are bullish or bearish. So definitely check out my Discord right now. I'll put the link if you want to join it. If you want to get more info on charts and you want to talk to me more directly, you guys can go to my Discord. Free to join. But anyway, if you guys like this strategy, it's really effective. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in future videos.